And we are live. What's going on, folks? Welcome back to another episode of the NUCLR GOLF Podcast. This is episode number 59. My name is John. I'm the co-owner of NUCLR GOLF and TW Legion, joined tonight by my co-host Joey from Scheffler Fans and Hutch Bennett, one of our regular ambassadors and co-hosts on this podcast. Tonight's show is presented by Blue Chew. Great sex is just a few clicks away. Visit bluechew.com today to learn more. And big thanks to Blue Chew for sponsoring today's episode. Fellas, we have a very exciting interview coming up in the back half of this show with PGA Tour player Dylan Wu. He shared some extremely incredible insights just into life on tour, kind of how he had his come up to the professional rankings from his junior career all the way up through the PGA Tour Canada, the Corn Ferry Tour, up to the PGA Tour today. We got into several different topics with him, including the future of the PGA Tour, his thoughts on Tiger, tons of interesting tidbits. So we hope you enjoy the full hour-long plus interview we did with Dylan Wu. But before that, we're going to get into the business of the week, which is the Players' Championship. We're also going to chat a little bit about all the changes that are coming to the PGA Tour as well. So, fellas, maybe we'll start off with the Players' Championship. Not sure if you guys have had a chance to watch much this week yet or not. Ludwig Aubert has a 2-shot lead over Xander Schauffele. I know JT is also 8 under par and just 4 shots back going into the weekend. Hutch, what are your initial thoughts on the leaderboard that's shaping up so far here on Friday night at Sawgrass?
I mean, first thing you got to go with Ludwig shooting 29 on the front today, right? Like that's got to be the headline. I think, his game translates really well. He's so good that it's just kind of feel like we've been waiting for the moment where he kind of breaks through, and maybe this is the week where he gets clips off one of these big events because he's just so uber talented that it's crazy that it hadn't been like that he hadn't had more success than he's had thus far. I think the secondary thing would be something that Joey could probably speak to a little more is Scotty sucks.
Relative. Yeah, he lost his touch. Magic's gone over. It was a good run. It was fun comparing him to Tiger for a while. It is what it is. We can only ride that high for so long. It's all over. Apparently everybody on Twitter thinks it's over. It's what was the quote that his swings never looked this bad? The face is wide open. His hands are not.
Yeah, I got the quote here, Joey. So it was Brandel Chambly. Of course it was, right? I don't know who else it would be with analysis of this level. But he said, I don't even recognize this golf swing from Scheffler. It's 1.5 feet shorter than last year, and the face is wide open. Obviously, not the best showings on the golf course recently. He's gotten off to slow starts at tournaments and then kind of put it together over the weekend to kind of end up with respectable finishes still. But this week, it was a round of 73 for him today on Friday. We also saw the club completely leave his hands on 16T, which is not something we're familiar with from him. What are your kind of thoughts on what's been going on with him? Do you think it's just sort of a bump in the road here, Joey?
Yeah, I think it's just every player does it at some point. There's kind of like there's a point where poor play kind of gets overseeded with some sort of mental block and kind of gets snowballing from there. And, it takes a couple weeks to figure it out. I'll admit, hand up, not seeing the board well. I said Scotty would be back this week. It'd be a kind of a 2-week bump. This whole Thursday playing poorly thing would kind of turn around this week. I was wrong. Said Colin Morikawa would play well this week. Clearly wrong. I think I had Chris Gotterup playing really well. Wrong. Grazerman, I think, was one of my other guys to watch out. We're talking about dudes that didn't even sniff the cut. So not seeing the board well this week, that's okay. Scotty, while Scotty's not playing well, I'm not seeing everything well. It affects the game. So Scotty said he doesn't want to win a lot. He's tired of winning. He wants other people to have a chance. Like, it's a big psyop. Scotty understands that Brian Rowlap's clearly paying Scotty a lot of money to make the tour interesting. It's not fun when someone's winning every week. So
road tournaments.
I think this is just a couple. We're going to get through the next couple weeks, let the swing play out. By the Masters, Scotty's going to be back in absolute peak form. So no worries.
Yeah, in total fairness too, like saying that Scotty's going to be back any week is a safe-ish bet. Like he's, what I'm saying? Like this is just a blip in the radar. I think I saw earlier he still made the cut. It's like 70 in a row, something like that.
Fine.
I mean, suck is a relative term for him. It's crazy to see him not perform as well, but I mean, there's no way that anybody could see this as like the start of something bad. I know Twitter's very reactionary and likes to sensationalize everything, that whole world. And that's kind of what's happening here, I think. He's going to be fine. He's Scotty freaking Scheffler. Like, this is – and in your defense, too, Colin, he might have played well this week. We don't know.
Well, yeah, you can't say he wouldn't have. And the thing about Scotty, I think he is the only thing that worries me, I guess, is it does look to be affecting him much more than really it ever has. I know just increasingly over the years, he's starting to show more visible frustration and clear misunderstanding with the correlation with why his game's not really matching up with where it's supposed to be. So, I mean, I think he's calm, cool, and collected enough that he'll figure it out. I don't think it's going to spiral into this thing where he's got this negative mentality about it and doesn't seem to be able to grasp kind of mentally what's going on. So I think there's some things that need to be worked out. He's obviously putting the work in on the range. We saw him, in the pouring down rain there after his round on the range. Like, again, Hutch is right. Scotty Scheffler, he's not going to back down to the challenge. He's not going to kind of just let whatever everybody's saying on Twitter. Like, Scotty doesn't care. He's never cared. Even when he's winning, he doesn't care what people say about him. So he's going to go home and obviously he's going to finish the tournament out. I mean, we've seen him come back from barely making cuts to finish top 10, top 5, top 20. Like, we've still got 2 rounds of golf for Scotty Scheffler to play, and it's on the weekend in pretty good conditions. So, I mean, this week's not even worth talking about. So, I mean, even if he plays poorly the rest of this week, we have a whole different conversation. He's got 2 more rounds out of him.
And we heard,
absolutely.
Everybody's going to hear it later, but Dylan kind of talking about how hard it is to backdoor a good finish on the PGA Tour. I think that's true for most people, but Scotty's not most people. Like, I mean, it wouldn't shock anybody for him to show up with a top 10 the rest of the week. Wouldn't shock me. Not in the least.
It will be one of those things where if it continues, it would shock people. If for some reason he goes and fires like back-to-back 64s or 65, 64, 66, like something like that, I mean, everyone's going to be like, well, it's Scotty Scheffler, so what would you expect? I mean, This is nothing out of the ordinary. So the alarms don't need to be sounded. Everyone needs to calm down. I get it. It's the hot topic right now, but everything's fine.
If you go back, Joey, to last year, I mean, he didn't start the year well in 2025 either. It took him, then he just all of a sudden caught fire and he won like a ton of tournaments, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's really not. It's a matter of what's the hot button topic at the moment, and Scotty Scheffler is going to have ebbs and flows. I kind of preached this when we consistently kept comparing him to Tiger stat after stat. It's like you're trying to make a sample out of something that's so much smaller in size than Tiger's long career. It's like you're trying to microanalyze this thing week by week, and it's not how it works. Where it's better to look back 10 years from now and go, man, Scotty's run was incredible. No one's going to remember the 3-week slump between, the players in early March and late February of 26. Like, it's going to be irrelevant.
We know why the discussion has turned this way, though. It's his own doing. Like, he just went so many consecutive weeks of getting nothing worse than like a top 8. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Obviously the expectations are extremely high. So it's a natural conversation piece, but I think everybody needs to chill a little bit. I think I'm not really too concerned about Scotty Scheffler going forward. I think he'll figure it out at some point soon, and the majors are coming. I'm sure he'll be getting dialed in. So another huge story today actually was Jordan Spieth. He was 6 under on his round, heading to 9, his last hole of the day, and just classic Spieth. Finds a way to make a double at the par 5, which is, essentially, I mean, that's a birdie hole for the most part, is it not? Like, I know it's not the easiest, but I mean, he's given up shots there, which you
shouldn't make a double. That's for sure.
No. So he ends the day shooting 4 under 68. He's now 9 off the pace going into Saturday. I mean, at one point I want to say he was like 3 shots off the lead. I was saying to Brent, like, I mean, if this guy's anywhere near the top of the board, he is a needle mover. When Jordan Spieth gets in the mix, and it's been a while since we've felt that at a big tournament like this. He's had glimpses here and there, but nothing concrete, nothing at a really big event in a while. I was looking forward to that. It looks like we might have to wait a little bit longer.
Well, I mean, he's a needle mover, but he can't stay at the top. I mean, yesterday he was 1 under. I mean, again, all credit to Jordan Spieth's mental ability to bounce back, because I think he was 1 under going on to 18 yesterday. Sahith bails out to the right. I don't remember who else they were playing with for some reason, but decides to take a more aggressive line than natural, goes in the water, has to drop, goes in the fairway, ends up double bogeying to finish over on the first round of play. And then to bounce back today and shoot what he did is incredible. But then again, you get back to that last hole, and it's for some reason, I don't know if it's a pressure thing, because I really don't think he's that fazed by it. Obviously, it's Friday. It's not even like there's innate pressure on it. It's just that for some reason, when he gets to a point where he can be a needle mover and have that spot on the leaderboard going into moving day, it's just, there seems to be this wall that just he hits every single time lately. And again, when he gets there, it's going to be awesome. I think, there's a few guys on tour that from 10 years ago, when their name's up there, they just consistently, keep bringing people back. And then it's the Ricky Fowlers, the JTs, the Jordan Spieth, that group of guys, when they're playing well, gets everybody riled up, because they're guys that everybody wants to cheer for, but he just can't seem to sustain it. And again, I think I spoke about it a couple weeks ago. I think it's going to break at some point, and he will finally kind of break that fourth wall. And once he does, I think it'll be easier for him. But I mean, it's just time after time, it's so well, and then just folds when it was the easiest layup in the world to kind of just maintain par or whatever he needs to do to get out of there alive.
It's just a roller coaster. It's the best way to describe the experience of Jordan Spieth. It's just a roller coaster, because you can see, like you say yesterday, I mean, he's finished the day with doubles on 2 straight days, right? It's just, and obviously that's 4 shots there you're talking about. And you put 4 shots on his score right now, then where's he at on the leaderboard?
And it's also just sad. It's just sad as well that, the PGA Tour, I saw after he finished his round and made the double, and it's they posted, they're a very Spiethian round. And it's just it's just too bad that this whole up and down roller coaster kind of mantra is becoming his brand now. That's what you think of when you think of Jordan Spieth. And, we want to get back to a place where we're thinking about greatness and incredible golf, not this roller coaster ride around TPC Sawgrass. So for the good of the game, I really do hope that Jordan Spieth can figure it out and put good rounds together going forward, because you can't be making doubles on par 5s and expect to win golf tournaments. I'm going to turn the page a little bit here quickly before we transition to our interview with Dylan. Big story coming into this week was the health of Rory McIlroy. He ends up shooting 74, 71. Appears that it'll be enough to hang around for the weekend here. Obviously flew up to the tournament on Wednesday, didn't play a practice round. All he hit was up to 6 irons on Wednesday afternoon when he got there. I saw a video of his wedge swings. Looks like they were very light wedges that he was taking. Nothing too crazy at all. And then obviously shoots 74 in the first round. Better today with the 71, 1 under. But definitely doesn't have his best stuff this week, without a doubt, right? For the defending champion, Hutch.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's hard with back stuff. I mean, you just can't predict how you're going to feel day to day. I know it's hard for him because he's gone 5 or 6 days without swinging a club, 4 or 5 days between it. Yep. And then you come back, and like Dylan's going to talk about, the margins there are just so thin. It's just razor sharp. It's hard to show up on a Wednesday, even for the most talented player in the world, who arguably probably is the most talented player in the world. It's hard to show up on a Wednesday and only hit 6 irons, and then you got to go out and rip drivers first thing the next morning. It's hard to do. Obviously, he's here. Players is important, and it's a huge tournament, all that, but his eyes are more geared towards what's happening in Augusta next month, right? So I don't know if this is more of just kind of trying to stay sharp, get a little practice in. It's good that he made the weekend. It's better for the event that he made the weekend, especially those early tee times on Saturday. The crowds are going to be there anyway, but that gives them a big group to look at, him and Scotty both being at that number that they're at. So, we'll see. It's all going to be relative to his health. You don't want to hurt yourself going into Augusta, because that's, as we talked about on Monday, like that's the one he wants to defend more than anything.
Yeah, I mean, it's great he made the cut, like you said, especially for the fans in the tournament. But and he wouldn't if he didn't feel good. But I mean, again, he's clearly not in position to win the Players at this point, pending crazy play. But I think his health is much more important, and obviously that's probably a conversation with him and his team and deciding, how do we want to play this out for the rest of the week. He's obviously going to get some good time to rest up for the Masters, but you don't want to if you're in this position right now, we already know it was kind of feverish into this week. We talked about there's a chance that he withdrew before the tournament, and ended up deciding to rest his back before he does too much damage now, before it's a problem for the Masters and later in the year. So again, he's got a team of people that are absolutely looking out for his best interest. If it's even a matter of worry, they're not going to take a chance on it. So I'm sure he'll kind of play feverish for the rest of the week and just focus on fixing those back spasms and whatever he's got going on to kind of just prolong his health and not risk it this week.
Next time she sends you a "you up" text, answer with a picture of Blue Chew. Fellas, you already know what time it is. It's time to level up, and Blue Chew just dropped something crazy. I'm talking next level, championship belt, gold-plated energy. Blue Chew Gold is the newest innovation from the #1 chewable ED brand. This ain't your grandpa's little blue pill. This is the 4-in-1 beast that's setting the gold standard for performance. We're talking 2 ingredients for blood flow to keep that rocket pumping, mixed with apomorphine and oxytocin to turn up the arousal and connection in your brain and your body. Blue Chew Gold dissolves under your tongue and works in as little as 15 minutes. That means you can get it on quicker and stay in the game longer. It's elevation without hesitation. This is peak passion and peak performance in a single tablet. Make life easier by getting harder and discover your options at bluechew.com. And we've got a special deal for our listeners today. Get 10% off your first month of Blue Chew Gold with code NUCLEAR. That's promo code NUCLEAR, NUCLR. Visit bluechew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring today's podcast. Without further ado, we are going to go to our interview now with the one and only Dylan Wu. Hope you guys enjoy it, and we will be back right after this. Today, we are joined by an impressive PGA Tour golfer who has navigated the ranks with remarkable consistency. His journey to the highest level of professional golf began as a standout at Northwestern University, where he was a star for the Wildcats before turning professional in 2018. Since then, he has proven he belongs on the big stage, securing a victory on the Korn Ferry Tour in 2018 and putting up some strong finishes at major events, including the U.S. Open, and a top 20 at the Players' Championship. Beyond the scorecard, Dylan is known for his meticulous approach to the game, prioritizing fitness, nutrition, and recovery to stay competitive. He also brings a unique family dynamic to the course, with one of his brothers serving as his full-time caddy. Our guest tonight is Dylan Wu. Dylan, it's a pleasure to have you here to share your insights on tour life and your journey to the top. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. How are you doing?
Doing great. No, thanks for having me, guys.
Of course. Look, we got a bunch of questions for you. Let's start out with your early days. Talk to us about that. How did you get introduced to the game? When did you realize you wanted to pursue pro golf as your career?
Yeah, so I grew up in Southern Oregon and in Medford. So it's kind of smallish. It's like 80,000 people in Southern Oregon, but I'm the oldest of 4, and my dad kind of started learning the game of golf when I was born. So I'm the oldest. I mean, I have pictures of myself. I mean, I tell people I probably started playing golf at like 4 or 5 years old, but I have pictures of myself like a year and a half, 2 years, like on the putting green with my dad. So golf's always kind of been a part of my life at a really young age. I have twin brothers, a year and a half younger than me, and then a younger sister that's 5 years younger than me. So golf was kind of a family thing. Golf and ice hockey, honestly. So from kind of 5 until, of course, till a little older. Those were the 2 sports. And then I would say 12 to 13. You always dream of playing on the PGA Tour and playing against the best players. Growing up in Oregon, there weren't that many golfers competing at the highest level, just kind of a smaller state. And I think around 12, 13 is kind of when I realized, like, hey, I'm actually pretty good. That's when I started, like, kind of branching out of Oregon, outside of Oregon golf, and then playing a lot in California on the West Coast and competing against the best juniors in my age across the country. And I remember when I was like 14 or 15, I won a couple tournaments and then played like a team event where it was like the top 10 guys on the West Coast or on the West of Mississippi, and then against the East. Like it's called the Wyndham Cup. Like Scotty Scheffler was on my team, Sam Burns. I think that was like my moment where I'm like, oh shit, like these guys, everybody's really good. Like the Junior Invitational at Sage Valley is this week. Like I played that. Like I think all those things. I mean, I was a good junior golfer, of course. Definitely not the best, but really good. And I feel like that kind of gave me the belief, like, hey, I could probably play on tour one day, or at least pursue it. Decided to play golf at Northwestern. Kind of had a set list of schools I wanted to go to, just because like playing professional golf at any professional sport is really hard. And like I feel like nowadays, like people are getting better at a younger age. Kids are getting more prepared, but at the same time, like that makes it more cutthroat. Like not enough people have a backup plan. And I really wanted to get a good education at the same time. Didn't think I'd be in Chicago in the freezing cold, but yeah, I visited a lot of very good academic schools. Wanted to kind of have that, I would say backup plan, but kind of just have something to fall back on if golf didn't work out. And yeah, that's kind of how junior golf went. Just kind of got slowly better, and then it's kind of been my entire career, kind of just slowly getting better. I've always been pretty good, and yeah, that's kind of the early stages there.
You said you played hockey. Was there ever a shot that was going to happen professionally, or was it just like
I loved hockey. Like my brother's funny story. Like when we were like 10 or 11, I think it was 10. So I think we're squirts. We're playing up in Portland, and my brother Jeremy, who's been caddying for me, is a lefty. He's a left defenseman. I was a right defenseman, and my other brother Josh, at the time before, like afterwards, he played center, but at the time he played goalie. So we're playing. I mean, we're like the only Asian people in Oregon. So like all our teammates' parents would call us the Great Wall of China, just on defense and the goalie. But I loved hockey. I mean, hockey's awesome. I mean, I love playing it. Loved playing it. It was great in the winter to kind of take a break from golf. Kind of feel like everybody talks about how good hockey is for your golf swing, and how, I mean, I feel like baseball and hockey players are pretty good golfers. Yeah, I loved it. I just was kind of realistic. I mean, I'm just under 5'10". I'm like, yeah, this is just probably not going to work out. I also like had this subtle thing where like my brothers and I were pretty good. My brothers used to play for a team up in Bremerton and Seattle and go up to BC and play AAA when they're about 16, 17. This is when I stopped playing travel and kind of solely focused on golf other than high school hockey. I forget where I was going with this, but yeah, it's just hockey is just, I know where I'm going with it. I also just was getting really mad at my brothers and other people who were playing with when I was like 12 or 13. Like I was like usually the captain of the team. I'm like, you guys suck. I'm like, you guys aren't listening to me. And we're just like, I was like, in golf, you can kind of take ownership of everything. So it's all on you. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go play golf. I'm better at it, but no, I love playing it. I think it's definitely helped me kind of be a well-rounded person athletic wise, playing hockey. I mean, if I was 6'2", 6'3", I'd probably be playing for the Colorado Avalanche right now. Just be like Cam LaCar.
There you go.
When you were picking out Northwestern, I know you said you had some other, highly ranked academic schools on your list. What other schools were you looking at? And how did you settle on Northwestern? Because it is cold.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like I took visits. I wouldn't say I started talking to schools maybe slightly later. It's always weird. Like I feel like if you go to schools that like are a little more academically inclined, like you take your SAT your junior year, right? Like you can't really commit to schools. I mean, you can commit your freshman and sophomore year verbal commit, but then like some of the other schools, it takes a little more time. So it's taking maybe a little bit longer than other people. Like say if I was I mean, Scotty Scheffler committed to Texas. Like if I wanted to go to somewhere in the South or like Arizona State, like probably could have done that, but just took me a little longer just to kind of navigate it. But like I took visits to like University of Washington, Stanford, Cal, and then USC and UCLA were on my radar, but they had early commits. And I was talking to Northwestern, Michigan, not too much out east. And my coach at Northwestern is probably the biggest reason. He's been there for the last almost 30 years. He just stopped coaching at Northwestern, but now he's the chief of operations for Northwestern Athletics. So basically the right-hand man for the AD. This happened a year ago, or 9 months ago. But he coached Luke Donald to number 1 in the world. He's a really world-renowned short game coach. Has taught a lot of players, Webb Simpson, Gary Woodland, Harold Varner, like really good short game coach. And my best visit was actually in Chicago in the middle of January. I always tell people, like, I had a lot of great visits, but my coach at Northwestern was great because on my visit, he kind of told me that he'd base his success as a coach on how I developed as a player. And that kind of helped him stand out. And really, I kind of asked myself if I could get a great degree from all these places, but if I really wanted to pursue professional golf, I want to have a coach that can help me get there. Like growing up in Oregon, I had an instructor and stuff, but it wasn't like super high skilled where like you see nowadays juniors are taking lessons from coaches who are teaching the best players in the world. So I really thought if I went to Northwestern, I could really learn a lot of things and have a coach that could help me get there. Also, like side story, Stanford. I mean, any kid that's growing up on the West Coast wants to go to Stanford. It's like you have like Stanford, Northwestern, Vanderbilt, and Duke. Like that's the private schools that kind of dominate sports or are good at sports and academics. But on the West Coast, everyone wants to go to Stanford, and Stanford kind of passed on me, and that really made me mad. So like Northwestern was my second choice, but honestly, it was probably my best visit. And then of course the first event we play against Stanford in the fall, I win my freshman year. So it's a nice little middle finger there to them. So I definitely have a little resentment there. But no, my 4 years in Northwestern were great. My coaches were great. Teammates were great. So wouldn't trade it. I mean, I love Chicago. I split time now between Scottsdale and Chicago. My wife is from the Chicago area. So I spend summer and fall there. So it was a great 4 years there.
Now, your journey up through to the PGA Tour, I know you played some on PGA Tour Canada and then up through the Corn Ferry. Talk a little bit about those experiences and how that kind of shaped your career as well. I know you won in 2021 on the Corn Ferry Tour. That was obviously a big moment for your development and growth as you went higher in the ranks. How was that experience like?
Yeah, to like kind of piggyback off of like giving myself a reason to keep on playing professional golf or try to pursue it. Like I'm always a big believer of validating results. It's not just one thing to think you're good. Like I feel like nowadays, like people think they're really good in college. They like, you don't even make your team lineup and they're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go turn professional. It's like, You can't even beat guys in your team. What makes you think you're gonna beat guys who do this for a living? Like, I think it's just hard because some people just love the game so much. That's the only thing they know how to do. But like my junior year in college, I was a second team All-American. I finished like ranked like 12th in the country. So that gave me kind of really the confidence, like, hey, no matter what happens my senior year, like, I mean, you see the players on the list. It's a very good indicator of like who's gonna have a good chance of making it professional golf. Like the same guys that I competed against college, like Scotty and I are the same age, like Colin Morikawa, Will Zalatoris, like Sam Burns, Davis Riley, Nick Hardy, like all these guys that were the best in college. They have a really good chance of being really good in professional golf. So, yeah, that kind of gave me kind of big validation to at least try to play professional golf afterwards. So I played up on PGA Tour Canada. Like I was a pretty good college player. I won 3 times. I was only a team All-American once, but I was a really pretty solid college player. If PGA Tour U was there back then, I'd probably be ranked from the junior and senior year, maybe like 11 to 15. I probably would have got some status, but I did Q school for PGA Tour Canada while I was still in college. I did Big Ten Championship in Baltimore Country Club, then flew to Victoria, BC, and then finished top 10 at Q school to get guaranteed starts. So playing up in Canada was awesome. I mean, you realize, I think my first tournament, my first round of professional golf, I like made 15 pars and 3 bogeys, didn't make a birdie. I'm like, sick. This is not the dream. But the week after I finished T4 and made like $8,800 Canadian dollars, so like $6,000. I was like, I'm rich. So So that was, I feel like in Canada, it was awesome. We had a good group of guys. It's very, I feel like the ranks of professional golf, especially on the lower tours, like it's very like buddy and like kind of, you guys are all like rooting each other on, staying together, and kind of just, we all have this end goal of trying to get to the PGA Tour and staying there. Like guys, we called ourselves like the Mac Tour Rooks. It was like Ben Griffin, Lee Hodges, Ian Holt, me. It's like 5 or 6 other guys that don't play anymore. But like it was a really fun year playing up there. You kind of learn how to be a professional golfer. Like you learn like how to navigate golf outside of your coaches and outside of coaches telling you what to do, and you kind of dictate your own like lifestyle. So that was really, I think, pivotal for me, or I just think a lot of people. It just takes a little bit of time. It takes a little bit of time to understand the difference in college golf and professional golf. Like you're making, of course, you're playing for money, but also at the same time, you dictate your own schedule. You don't have your coaches telling you like, hey, practice is here. This is what you need to do. We have a tournament here, travel. So like all that stuff was, all the stuff that outside the competition was great to learn. And then I did Q school that year, got conditional, I made it to final stage, got conditional status on Corn Ferry. And then I know it's a long, I mean, we could talk a lot about professional golf, but basically I had conditional status for about a couple months on Corn Ferry, was doing a bunch of Mondays, sucked. Mondays suck. Having conditional status on any tour sucks. But then I got into Springfield, Illinois in 2019, and then played really well on the weekend and lost in the playoffs. So that kind of gave me the rest of that year. I kept full status on the Corn Ferry in 2019, and then 2020, I just started off really, really well on Corn Ferry. I had full status, and then I think the first 6 events, I was like 5th on the points list without a win, and then COVID happened. So then instead of getting a tour card in 2020, it was 2 seasons in 1. So that was just a lot tougher because instead of having 25 events to finish in the top 25, you had I think we had 43. So like you need a lot more than just a win. So like I remember playing really well, and then I would have finished 10th on the points list or 11th on the points list in a regular year. And then the end of 2020 and the beginning of 2021, I was kind of struggling, not very playing very good golf. And then I fell outside the top 25 probably a couple of weeks before I won Springfield, Missouri. So, yeah, that was a very pivotal time in my career right there. Like I just hired my brother actually 4 weeks before Springfield, Missouri, qualified for the U.S. Open at Torrey, finished 31st, and then kind of went on a little run after that where it kind of gave me the confidence to like, you just kind of have, there's ebbs and flows of professional golf, up and downs, but then I just kind of a little heater, and then won Springfield, Missouri, locked on my card, and then I was on the PGA Tour in the fall of 21. I would like to say, overall my career has kind of been like a slow climb. I would love to wish it just went straight up right away. But that's kind of how I got to the PGA Tour. Definitely, it's hard now because it's been almost 8 years since I graduated from college. It doesn't feel that long ago, but I've played a lot of golf and experienced a lot of tournaments in the last 8 years. So, I definitely don't miss playing on PGA Tour Canada. I mean, it was really fun, or playing on the Corn Ferry, but definitely a lot of very good learning experiences to help me get to where I am today.
It panned out. Is there a part of you that's kind of pissed you missed out on the NIL era for college? I feel like everyone like that's just
a little bit. I mean, Northwestern, I was talking to my coach, like I'm pretty good at kind of like pro-am experiences, kind of, I wouldn't say schmoozing, but like kind of schmoozing where you can get money from sponsors and stuff like that. I definitely think, I mean, I wouldn't talk about a lot of money, but I'm like, maybe I would have been able to get like 30 to 50 grand. I'm like, that goes a long ways when you're 19, 20, 21 years old. I mean, I'm not playing football or basketball, but it definitely goes a long way when you're just like, hey, I can eat as much Chipotle or something like that. I can buy dinner for the team or something like that. It's so different now in college sports. I mean, the transfer portal is crazy. Like, I wouldn't say there's no loyalty, but like, damn, if you play good and you're not at, say, a Power 5 conference or Power 4 conference now, like, you just say see ya and just go find the money. And that's kind of in golf. There's a little bit of that. Like you see some guys getting paid, and like if you don't love a place now, you just leave. So it's like, I don't think it's the greatest thing for, say, if you have to go into the real world. Like, hey, I spent 6 years in college and I went to 4 different schools, but maybe got paid a little bit. But so it's definitely very unique for sure.
Now, you have two twin brothers, right? Jeremy and Josh.
Yeah.
Jeremy, who is a cancer survivor, has been your caddy for much of your pro career. How big of an inspiration is it to have him on the bag alongside you with everything that he's persevered through, to get back into a position where he can be back on the bag? Because I know he took some time off, obviously, when he was undergoing treatment. And what's that dynamic like, having your brother beside you throughout the tournament weeks?
Yeah, so Jeremy played golf at side story too. So I played golf at Northwestern. My twin brothers, Josh, played golf at the Air Force Academy. Jeremy played golf at Valparaiso. And my younger sister played golf at Lipscomb. So all four of us played D1 golf, which is pretty cool. Yeah, Jeremy's been great. I remember asking him to start caddying for me right after the US Open at Torrey. He was like in between jobs. He was just graduated from college. He was working in accounting. He's kind of hating his life working for EY doing tax. He was at the US Open watching. Like, I remember him watching. He was just getting blitzed the entire week. And I'm like, hey, you want to caddy in Maine? So we started caddying, and then of course 4 weeks later we win. I'm like, all right, let's go. Let's keep on riding this. And then like the first couple of years on tour were great. And of course, yeah, he got sick in the fall of 24. 24 was a very weird year for me. Like, it was my first year after having my I'd say statistically my best year on tour. I just finished 86 in the FedEx. 2024, I just finished top 10 at Rocket in June. And I was talking to my coach, Pat. I'm like, okay, the week after is John Deere. Like, are you going to come out? And he's like, yeah, I'll call you the next morning. This is Sunday night when I'm driving from Detroit back to Chicago before going to John Deere. And then the next morning he's like, oh, by the way, I'm interim athletic director for Northwestern. So I can't travel. I'm like sick. So I'm like, and he was kind of my coach on everything, like short game putting, but he was my swing coach and everything. I was like, sweet. So this is gonna be harder. And then of course, 2 months later, my brother, who's my caddy, gets diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma and is out. I'm like, Jesus, what's going on? And then, but luckily, I mean, he was driving actually from where I grew up, my hometown, to Napa. And that's when my parents kind of found out got part of the diagnosis back of what it was. And I was like, okay, just got to turn around. Like, we got to figure out there's more going with biopsy and everything like that. And luckily it was a very favorable type of cancer he got. He had 6 months of chemo and now he's perfectly healthy. Yeah, I mean, I'm 29 now, but at the time he was 27. So, I mean, fairly healthy. It's pretty scary stuff when you get cancer when you're 27. So luckily he was out from Napa, and then he came back actually in Puerto Rico a year ago. So it was definitely a kind of a bummer. Of course, a bummer. I mean, at the end of the day, like, golf is awesome. Playing professional golf is great, but for him not to be there was definitely just harder, just because also being the older brother, but just kind of puts a lot of things in perspective. And luckily, he had a lot of caddies and players that were supporting him. And it didn't. I feel like we kind of look back at it now, like it's kind of like just a small blimp. And I think the one thing that was awesome with him is he never really kind of asked himself, like, why is this happening to me? He kind of was like, hey, I'm just going to get this treatment done 6 months and I'll be healthy and come back. And he's doing great now, fully healthy. He actually, so then of course, like all last year, I'm living in between Korn Ferry and PGA Tour, because after that, the end of that fall when Jeremy got diagnosed, I finished outside the top 125 and finished 132. And then they switched to this past year in 2025 to play for 100 cards. And then I'm kind of playing Korn Ferry and PGA Tour, which sucks. You're kind of just living in both worlds. And then I had him at Q School. And of course, we get our card back in the playoff for the last card at Dye Valley and Sawgrass Country Club. And he actually right now is the grad assistant. So one of his best friends at caddying the last 4.5 years used to be coaching and is the head coach at DePaul. And kind of in the last fall, I was kind of telling him, like, hey, I know you don't want to caddy like forever, like long term. So like maybe you should like do a grad assistant with your best friend. He doesn't really have an assistant coach, and you kind of coach golf, live in the city, have fun, kind of have your own place, kind of set up like a home for yourself. And then you can kind of figure out what you want to do long term. So he caddied in Hawaii, and right now he's coaching. He's a grad assistant at DePaul and doing that. There's a chance he's coming back in the summer, but he's loving what he's doing. He's living in the city. It's also just very weird having your brother kind of on the bag for so long. Like Harry Higgs, one of my good buddies, he had his brother Al for a long time. Like I talked to Manny Vajekas, who caddies for Siwoo. We played together in Hawaii. He caddied for Camilo for, I forget how long, only a couple of years. Now he's caddying for Siwoo. Like the brother dynamic's very unique. It's like, I think it definitely works a little bit better because I'm the older one and he's the younger one. Like if it was the other way around, it's a little tougher. Like Kurt Kitayama just hired his brother less than a year ago, and they won 3M, but Kurt's younger than his brother Daniel. So it's like, it's a weird dynamic with your brothers because like some things you don't want to, like some things are supposed to be objective and like not taken personal, but just because you're your brother, like you think it's personal. So like some arguments can just easily happen. And it's like, sometimes it's like arguments between us. It'd be like something stupid too. It's like, hey, I think we got the win wrong there. And then like he's defensive and I'm like, okay, I'm not trying to like be mean or anything. I'm like, hey, we just got the win wrong there. And then it's just like, it blows into some small stuff. But then also there's other things where like your brother, like you can say some stuff to him and afterwards you're like, like he's like, yeah, I definitely didn't react the right way. But at the end of the day, he's always supporting me, like no matter what. And it's like that Q School moment, making that putt in the playoff, especially with what everything he's been through, being out, and what year I had last year with conditional status. It was kind of just like a very emotional moment for both of us. And no, it's great. I mean, it's definitely awesome to share that moment and have that moment experience, but then to share with your brother or family, it's great. So it's definitely a memory I'm gonna have to have for a long time.
The putt you made there to get your card back, it was, I think I remember watching because it was on Golf Channel, right? It was like a 20-footer or something. I remember. Was it first playoff hole?
First playoff hole. Yeah, it was my first time playing Q School in like 8 years, and I was like, they switched it. I mean, before when I was playing, Q School never went to the PGA Tour, and then like 2 years ago it was top 5 in ties. Funny story. Another thing in 2024. So I lost my coach. My brother got diagnosed, and I finished outside top 125. And I'm usually really on top of this stuff, but then my agents forgot to remind me to sign up for Q School. And it's funny because Q School, there's about 3 weeks between the RSM Classic and Q School. Yeah. So I'm like 126 going into Bermuda, and I played okay, but I dropped down to like 131. So I'm like, get to RSM on Monday, and I'm like looking at Q School, and I'm trying to sign up. And they're like, oh, the deadline was actually last week on Wednesday. And I'm like, what are you guys talking about? There's 3.5 weeks. There's 4 weeks until Q School. You're telling me if I play good at the RSM Classic and finish in the top 125, I don't have to worry about it. But if I don't, I can't sign up for Q School. And they're like, yeah. And then, of course, next year, they're like, okay, yeah, deadline is after the RSM, and we're going to send out like 5 or 10 reminders. I'm like, Tor, you suck.
Of course.
But, of course. I forget your question again. But, yeah, that Q School – top 5 in ties. Q School it's a very weird thing because it was like 170 players, and it's kind of, at the time I was going to have full Corn Ferry status no matter what. So it was kind of like top 5 or bust. So I knew I needed to play well the whole week, and kind of was playing decent golf and kind of put myself in a good position. Then for the last day, I started off really well, and then conditions got tough, and I kind of made a couple mistakes, and then made eagle on 16 to get back into the top 5. Played 17 and 18, obviously under a lot of pressure and stuff. Hit a lot of good shots, but thought I hit better shots, but I was grinding for par instead of thinking I had good chances at a birdie. And then playoff hole, 1v1 versus Ben Silverman. It's weird to describe it because like I kind of tell myself now, like there's only a few moments like it where you have a putt to keep your PGA or to get your PGA Tour card, and if you miss it, like you don't get your PGA Tour card. It's very unique because like if you're trying to win a tournament, like shit, you could make triple, whatever, you still finish second, or like you could choke it away and finish like 15th, whatever. Like it's very small instances. It'd be like being 21 on the Corn Ferry Tour and there's top 20 get cards at the last event, you had a putt to make it. Or if you're 101 on the FedEx and in the last event, you have to make this to move to 100. So there's like very few instances in professional golf that you actually experience this. And this is like the first ever Q school where there weren't any ties. It used to be always ties. Even back then, like 20, 30 years ago when it went to the PGA Tour, it was like top 40 in ties got a PGA Tour card. So this was no ties. So it was crazy. I mean, I kind of tell my mental coach and I talk about it. It's like technically I made like the hardest putt in professional golf. So like every putt from here on out like is just a piece of cake. I mean, you can just tell yourself like, hey,
you can go back to that.
Yeah, I'm like, I just made the hardest putt in professional golf to keep my job for a year. So this is fine here. But it was definitely an awesome moment.
What of your career so far, like was there ever, or what has been the biggest moment where you were just kind of like, oh shit, like this is huge? Like I obviously that putt's one of them, but whether it's, I don't know, showing up at your first like US Open or some big event where you're just like, oh my God, like this is crazy.
I would say the US Open in 2021. I was still playing on the Corn Ferry at the time. My first ever major. I had Monday qualified into a PGA Tour event before. So I've been to a PGA Tour event, but I remember just like, I think Rory is the only person I've ever been, ever since I've been on tour, that I feel like kind of has an aura around him. Yeah. And we had a lot of similar tee times where we're just like in the practice rounds, like we were always seeing each other like in the gym and stuff. And I'm like, I mean, he's not seeing me, but I'm seeing him. Basically what I'm trying to say. But he was probably the only person I was like awestruck. I'm like, this guy's tiny, and this guy bombs it, and he's just like stripes it, and I'm like, this guy was just an absolute world beater. And then I remember hitting balls like in between DJ, Phil, Koepka. I'm like, damn, there's a lot of this is pretty sick. And then I ended up playing pretty decent that US Open and finished like 31st. And I was like, all right, this is pretty sweet. Weirdest thing too is my first US Open, but I wasn't really nervous like the whole week. Like I feel like it was one of the weirdest things where maybe I just didn't really have that many expectations. But I was like, damn, I'm like, all right, let's just vibe and just play. And I played decent. And I'm like, sometimes I'll just show up to like an opposite field event or I'm just playing with my buddies. I'm like, why am I more nervous? Like I'm more nervous here. And I feel like on the first tee there, I'm like, I don't remember being nervous. And yeah, very, very unique thing. I mean, I think that's a moment I look back on. Of course, winning on the Corn Ferry to get my PGA Tour card was awesome. But that was like I almost felt like more relief when that happened because we had the double season. I'm like, I already kind of had my card and I lost it and I kind of got it back. And you finally made it. You're finally a PGA Tour member. But Q School definitely, like I have to look back on it. It's probably the biggest putt I've made in my entire career. There's of course different moments, but I mean, now this is my fifth year on tour in a row. Like now I'm vested into their pension and stuff like that. There's just small stuff. That's probably the biggest part. Yeah, the biggest moment. But there's of course there's other moments you don't really look at. I mean, my rookie year, another big moment was, Live happening. Every year on tour I've played has been not look the same. Like I played my rookie year, and of course Live happens. But Live, like all the guys defecting to Live helped me keep conditional status going into my second year. And then my second year, I played really good out of that conditional category. Like, shit, I remember after all the guys left for Live, I finished 150th on the FedEx, which was the last guy that kept status by like 2 FedEx Cup points. So it's like really shows like every shot does matter, even though you make a cut and you finish dead last, like you still get something. So like every shot does matter. And then I was able to like start off pretty well. I mean, I was playing the Players Championship the next year, and I was like top 10 going in the last 8 holes. And I would have been back on the Corn Ferry Tour if I had like 2.5 FedEx Cup points last my rookie year. So like that's a moment that I feel like that was huge too, but it wasn't really in my control, but I definitely took advantage of it. So yeah, I think those are some moments that are huge for sure.
When you're in like a moment like that you were saying, you hadn't played in 8 years for Q School or, your first US Open or major, like any of those, do you try to go back and ground yourself to where you were? Or do you just black out and enjoy the week and just take it for what it's worth? Because I feel like you can't, like, stand over a putt like that. Like if you think too much, obviously it starts racing. Yeah. Like you just kind of take the moment for what it's worth and go, I've made millions of these putts before.
Yeah, I feel like everybody's a little different. I just feel like when I look back at the Q School moment, I definitely feel like that's probably one of the biggest moments I've kind of just been in the zone. Like there's like even in the before the playoff happened, like I'm on the range, like I'm watching YouTube TV to watch the rest of the coverage to kind of like watch shots going to 18, kind of see what's happening, but also like kind of study the golf course and see how shots are coming into 18. And then like my brother, okay, side story, my brother's like laying down on the ground, like passed out. And then like I'm watching myself and my brother on the range on my phone. But I just felt like in the playoff there, like I was just kind of in the zone. And like everything was going really quickly from like when they said the playoff or like when the last group finished and then the playoff was going to happen. Like I was like, damn, I'm already on the 18th tee like right away. So you just kind of had like to really lock in. I mean, there's definitely bad thoughts that come in your head. You're like, I'm going first. I could snipe this in the water, slices out of bounds, like hit bad shots. So I'm like, all right, you just got to lock in, and you almost got to lock in and just say, fuck it, let's do it. And that's kind of what you do. And then like hit a great tee shot, hit a great second shot. I actually Ben Silverman had like a 40-footer on the fringe from the fairway, and like halfway there, I'm like, this is going in, and then it missed, and I'm like, holy shit. It went 4 feet by, but then I had to like recollect myself, and I was like, all right. And I was just like kind of dialed. I remember my brother like kind of trying to help me read the putt. I'm like, get out of my way. I got this. But yeah, I hit the putt. I was like, the only thing I was trying to do is kind of just what I do all the time. I'm like, okay, I think I have the line set out here. Like trying to hit this with perfect speed and know it's fast. So like, let's just hit this line here with perfect speed. And I hit it and I'm watching it. And then like when it's like 5 feet from going in, like I know it's going in, that's straight blackout. Like,
yeah, just ride it.
Like straight blackout. Like definitely the next couple minutes were just straight blackout. Like I didn't even know what just happened. Like, because it's weird. Like I also think I told myself going into it, like, hey, I had a tough year because I had in between status. I mean, I finished top 75 on the Corn Ferry in 8 tournaments. And then I was kind of playing both tours, but I was like telling myself like, hey, if I have to go back to the Corn Ferry, shit, I'm going to win 3 times and get back on the PGA Tour. Like it's not like I'm not going to ever get back to the PGA Tour. Like I kind of had the confidence, like I'm going to come back. So like, even if I lose this playoff or I don't get my tour card back here, I'll have a full season next year. I'll get it back. So I think that definitely helped in it, but yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I still think about it now. I'm like, it's still one of the craziest moments ever. Cause it's just so hard to describe. Cause like most of the time you're never in that situation for that last card. And it's just like, you never want to be in it, right? It's like in any other sport, like you're winning 7-0 and you just hope it's not close in game 7 and you're just like coasting to the end. But like, it'd be like 3-2 pitch, 2 outs, World Series, and you're the pitcher. I'm like, that's kind of what it's like. But yeah, it was crazy. So definitely a memory I can definitely draw on now. But that's a zone that everybody talks about, and it's just like you're just trying to just do what you're supposed to. Just focus on the things you can control. I mean, it sounds so cliche, but it's like that's all you can do. Like I can think about how many bad shots I can hit and how many good shots I can hit, but at the end of the day, I'm like, okay, I want to hit this shot here. Let's go execute that, do that, and then you just move on to the next one, do that. You just keep on doing that, and hopefully it turns out good. So yeah.
Fast forwarding to this year, like you've played 5 PGA Tour events this year, 4 out of 5 cuts made. Are you like a big goal setting guy? Are you a guy that puts pen to paper at the beginning of the year and writes down a bunch of things you want to achieve? How would you kind of assess your season so far? And would you share some of those goals with us if you do?
Yeah, for sure. I wouldn't say I'm like I think in college I was kind of more of a goal setter, but I feel like at the time kind of just got too focused on the results that I'm more of like, I think like a soft goal setter and like, hey, this is what I need to do with my game to help me achieve those goals. So like, hey, say one of my goals is I want to win on the PGA Tour this year. It's like, what do I think I need to do? Well, like my goal, a statistical goal that I'm trying to achieve is like, I want to be top 75 in every category, strokes gained. So like that's strokes gained off the tee, strokes gained approach, short game. Like I really want to help. I just want to be a very consistent golfer because I feel like that's kind of what I am. Like I don't feel like I have a super strong part of my game on tour, but I don't really have a glaring weakness. So like I feel like for me, like focusing on those stats goals and like of course doing the work I want to and drilling and prepping and working on my game to help me achieve those will take care of the end goals. I just feel like sometimes when I focus only on the end goal, you just get so focused on it that it's just stuff that you can't control. So I feel like what I can control is like, hey, I can really work on my driving to help my driving be really good, hit a lot more fairways. That's going to help me get top 75, and that's going to help me contend more and whatever. I would look at this year, like I've made 4 out of 5 cuts. Like, I mean, I talk this year, like my mental coach and I talk about like this year's kind of house money after that, making that putt. But of course I have very high aspirations. I'm definitely very hard on myself. I want to be a great player. I mean, on the PGA Tour, I want to play against the best players. Like me not being at the players just kind of sucks. Cause like I definitely had enough, I'm like 10th alternate this week. Like I definitely had enough chances to play my way in off current year FedEx. And it just wasn't as tight as I'd like to. Like the last 2 weeks in Puerto Rico and Cognizant, I mean, I made an eagle putt at Cognizant on the 18th hole from like 40 feet on the fringe to make the cut after kind of like leaking oil, and then just didn't do anything on the weekend. And then in Puerto Rico, I'm like finishing 50th in the opposite field. And it definitely makes me mad, but yeah, I don't want to grade it right now, but I feel like right now I like how my game is going. I feel like I'm working on the right things. Just not far off, where you're just not scoring, or just like you're just not as consistent. You want a week where like you really can't have one bad round in a week on tour. You can have like one okay round and 3 good ones, but you can't really have a bad round, or else it's really hard to like backdoor finish on the PGA Tour. Like on the Corn Ferry, I thought it was a lot easier to like move up on the weekend, but like guys are good on the PGA Tour. It's hard to go from 60th to like 10th. It's just a lot harder because it's a little farther away. So I know I'm working on the right stuff. Like I've been working with my new coach the past year with Adam Schreiber, works with JJ, Sam Ryder, Denny McCarthy, and it's helped a lot. And I feel like right now it's just not far off. It's more motivating me. Like I feel very motivated to play good golf, because I want to play against the best. Like with all the stuff on the PGA Tour, like not being in signature events, you just kind of get behind. I mean, it's kind of been the story of the last couple of years. You just kind of get behind if it doesn't feel like you're on equal grounds, but you still have plenty of opportunities to play great. Like you play good at if I play good at Valspar, Houston, and Valero, like then you can get into like RBC and stuff like that. You can play well and you can get into the PGA Championship. So there's so many opportunities to do it. And I know like making cuts is always great, because like that means your game is good enough and it's consistent. But like for me now on tour and being my 5th year, like I would love to, of course, contend more and just kind of put myself in those positions where I just like, no matter if I'm going to fail and like play bad when I'm in the lead or whatever, like I just want to experience that. Like I've experienced that plenty of times on the Corn Ferry Tour and other levels, but I haven't done it on the PGA Tour yet. Like my best individual finished 5th on the PGA Tour. My partner and I last year finished 4th at Zurich, but I've never been in contention. Like I've played well in majors. Like I played 2 majors and 2 players, and I've played well. And I feel like tough courses, bigger, I won't say bigger spotlight, but I just love that. Like that's what you want. You want to play against the best. You want to beat the best players in the world. Like I feel like nowadays, or I feel like I have a lot of experiences that have helped me become the player I am, and I just want to just kind of keep on pushing myself. Kind of ask myself now, like, how good do you want to be? And I'm like, I want to be great. So it really is easy for me to kind of practice harder and push yourself, just because like it's my 5th year on tour, but like you just can't, it gets harder and harder. It's not easy. Like you don't want to be a guy that's having to make a putt at Q school to get back. You want to be the guy that's like, hey, I lock up top 100 full status. Like, oh, I'm trying to make the playoffs. Then you're like, oh, I'm trying to get into the signature events. Then you're trying like, oh, I want to get into all the majors. Then you want to be like, hey, I want to make a Ryder Cup team, a President's Cup team. So it's like those goals. I mean, I don't really think about that stuff at all, but I just really want to just find out how good I can be at golf. And I feel like right now, I kind of tell myself, like I sometimes tell myself now, I'm like actually pretty good sometimes. Like I feel like sometimes in the past I'd be like, yeah, you kind of suck, but I'm like, no, I'm pretty good. Like I joke around. I'm like, yeah, I'm fully vested now, guys. Like it's not like I'm just like a one and done thing, but it's definitely hard, because like golf's just not about consistency. Like I missed 1 cut by 1 at Farmers this year, and I probably played the best golf all year was that week, and I just made nothing. Yeah. And then like I've made 4 cuts, never really done much, but like say I had like 1 8th place finish and missed all the other cuts, like it'd be higher on the FedEx. I'm like, just weird. But then you don't feel as good about your game. So like I feel like making cuts is definitely a good correlator to like good golf coming. But like, there's nothing more frustrating than you make a cut and you don't do anything on the weekend. You're like, my new line, I joke with my caddy or told my brother, I don't even know why we started saying this, but if you like play bad on the weekend or you're just like playing bad on Thursday or Friday and it's hot outside, you're just doing cardio. Like, what are you doing? You're just getting your steps in and just hitting more shots. But yeah, I know good golf is coming. Just got to keep putting the work and keep grinding. So, yeah, instead of watching the players on TV, would love to be there. I mean, made that putt at the other golf course at Sawgrass back in December and have played good there twice. And that event's probably the best event on the PGA Tour, or probably honestly the best event I've ever played in, just because they just do everything awesome there. You really feel like a PGA Tour player when you play in the Players Championship. Like, you really feel like you're like, that's like I made it kind of thing.
Yeah.
You're kind of a gym nut, right? You're pretty big on fitness.
Yeah, I mean, I'm big on fitness, or big on kind of taking care of my body and doing all the stuff I need to play good. Big foodie, love food, but I still I kind of like eat whatever I want still. I mean, I eat pretty healthy when I'm on the road, like especially breakfast and lunch at tournaments. But like dinner time, I'm not like, okay, drinking a shit ton and like that, or eating a lot of bad stuff. But like, I'll enjoy food and stuff like that, and I just kind of have that kind of healthy balance. I mean, I think the one thing about traveling all the time on the road, I'm like, hey, if I can't see any of these cool places, like, you don't really see any of these cool places, right? So like, I'm like, I'll just go eat at some of the best restaurants in town. You know, like one of the things actually, like randomly the last 2 years, like, I don't know why I've watched so many like Dave Portnoy like pizza ratings of just like all the pizza places, but I'm like, okay, I'm like on this random pizza kick the last year and a half where I just like really want like good quality pizza that's like thin, just good pizza, no flop and just good. And but I just feel like it's part of you. Like, I think you see today, like Colin withdrew because he hurt his back, right?
Yeah.
And there's like guys getting injured. I feel like that's the one thing that professional golf, you can play for so long, but if you can stay injury free like as long as possible, that's like just so big. Like Will Zalatoris and I are like the same age, but like this, he's such a good player. I mean, he was so good. He should have won a major, but he's had like 2 back surgeries, and it's like when you're withdrawing, and golf's already hard enough as it is, and then when you're injured, you're just screwed, and then it's just way harder. But like, I know this guy's kind of like under the radar, but like a Stuart Sink, like he's like 52, 53. Guy's made over 500 PGA Tour cuts. Not even played over 500 tournaments. He's made over 500 cuts. Like, and he won a major and stuff like that. Like, damn, I played with him like 2 years ago, and he's hitting it past me. I'm like, this guy's insane. He's never been injured. But like, I think that's longevity is just so huge in golf. Like, you want to, of course, hit the ball farther, get stronger, and just do all the things to help you become a better golfer. But you don't want to compromise any of your health and stuff like that. So I just try to have that balance where, like, I feel like I'm just doing a lot of stuff, like a lot of recovery and a lot of preventative stuff. Like, it sucks. Like, I don't love doing it. Like, the amount of foam rolling that I have to do, like, basically every day just sucks. But I just know I kind of have to need it. And then when I stop playing professional golf, I can do whatever I want.
Yeah, I want to ask you about like this week at the Players, the CEO Brian Rollap announced, a slew of changes that are coming to the PGA Tour. Just curious to hear your thoughts on that. I mean, obviously, there's a bigger divide growing between, the big events with the biggest players, and then these sort of mediocre tour events, which I guess is kind of the current status of them. But starting, I guess, in 2027, some of those events are going to be maybe feeling more like Korn Ferry events. Someone in your position, what are your kind of overall thoughts on those changes?
Yeah, it's weird because like all my friends who came up in the same class, like every year we've played, it's been so different. We had a press conference with him, or player meeting at Cognizant, and I actually like him a lot. I've never talked to him yet, Brian, but like I feel like he gets it, and he's very transparent and like kind of blunt with what he sees and what he wants to do, and all the stuff makes a lot of sense. Like, I think a lot of the changes before, of course, were to combat live and stuff like that. But I think I forget what comment he made is like live golf. There's a tour. He basically said like there's a tour across the world that's basically trying to show you that money is the only thing that matters, and it's not really. Nobody really cares. Mm-hmm. Like, say it's the NBA Finals, the World Series, or NFL. Like, nobody cares if somebody like scores a touchdown. They're like, oh, this guy made an extra like $4 million because of that. Like, the fans hate hearing that. They're like, people hate hearing how much like people are complaining about how much money they're making, right? And I feel like live is all about the money. And of course, like, I mean, as a player, you want to make as much money as possible, but it's fans. I feel like the fan experience for golf has kind of been tainted the last couple of years, just because it's kind of the money just shoved down your face. It's like, oh, like they'll show a tour event like this guy, like, oh, Rory's putt at Riv that came in, like made him another $550,000. Like, that's not really what it's about. I mean, the average Joe who's grinding 9 to 5, making like 80 grand for his family, like, probably looks like that, and it's like these spoiled pieces of shit. Like, they just live the best life, right? So, but I think Brian Roloff, he's doing a good job. Like, I think he's understanding like golf's meritocracy, and like is probably the one thing that everybody loves. Like having cuts. I think golf, like everybody I talk about, golf fans, like they love a cut. They love just like you got to earn every dollar you make, right? So it doesn't like when fans are like, hey, Waste Management has a cut, and they go like, okay, Pebble Beach is 80-player field. There's no cut, right? Or they're like, there's no cut in the 80-player field. They're like, okay. And then you go to Riviera, which is a 72-player field, and there's a cut. I'm like, what are we doing? Why is there a cut in the 72-player field and there's not a cut in the 80-player field? So I think what Brian Roloff's really doing is trying to make it kind of dumb it down to like so everybody can understand like how the point structure works, how everything works. Because like we're just trying to make this experience better for the fans. So I think I like a lot of the stuff he talks about. Like we only play in 4 of the 10 biggest cities. Like I spent a lot of time in Chicago. Like we don't play in Chicago and New York. And I'm like, why don't we play in any of these cool places? And then of course, like the playoff structure, like nobody wants to go to Memphis and Atlanta in August. Like the West Coast gets started in January and it's way too cold, and then we're done. It's like you can play in California whenever you want. So like I think he's doing a lot of stuff and realizing like the old stuff on the PGA Tour wasn't the best, but I think the new model is going to look pretty good. Where I think the signature events, whatever, we'll have 120 player fields cut, kind of what it used to be. Right. It's hard because like I would say I'm more in that bottom middle tier where the guy is like, hey, let's include all the members. But at the same time, I'm like, I understand like the best guys, they fuel the entire product. Like people show up to watch Ricky Fowler, Jordan Spieth, and Rory McIlroy and all these stuff. So you gotta have that balance of keeping everybody happy. So I think I've always had this belief that the best players are still the best players no matter how big the field is. Like Scotty Scheffler won the American Express 156 player field. And I think it's a lot harder to beat 155 other players than 71 other players. Like it just numbers wise, like guys are just good. Like, and I think we're the only only professional sport that kind of has been shrinking the top level the last couple of years. And I think that's going to change. So I like all the changes that the CEO is doing. He's a lot more chill and he's very direct. I feel like a lot of guys talk about his press conference just makes sense. Like Jay before, I don't want to say Jay sucks, but Jay sucks. Like that guy just like hid from everything. Like just the stuff that was handled the last couple of years. Cause I mean, I've seen it all because I was like a rookie and then Live happens. I was in Canada when all this shit like happened. And then like now I'm on tour and then Brooks is coming back. So I like saw everything from in between. I think they're just trying to make it where it's just better for the fans. Like, and I think that's what all that matters. Like fans matter. Cause if you like make the fans happy, everybody understands, people want to watch it. That's just going to make the product better. Then it's going to help your sponsor. It's going to help your TV rights and everything like that. And it's just going to funnel down to the players. There's like other small stuff that we have in the player meeting. Like it hasn't really been talked on media, but like, I think Mackenzie Hughes was like the majors, like the USGA and PGA Championship, like, or the PGA of America run their own stuff. Like we're the PGA Tour. Why do we listen to the USGA about shit. Like, why do we do this ball rollback? Like, why do we care? Do you think the NFL cares about, like, they create their own rules? That's what Roll Up said. I'm like, I understand, like, you guys can play the same rules as me, but at the same time, like, if we make the golf ball go shorter, it only hurts us. And it's like, nobody wants to see that. So there's like certain things that were very promising and very stuff that made a lot of sense in the meeting. And then his press conference that I listened to yesterday made a lot of sense. So it feels like the PGA Tour is definitely in a good spot. Like, I think Liv's kind of not gone. I think they have enough money to just be there for a long time, but I think the PGA Tour is definitely in a good spot. And I think the product we're trying to figure out how the product's going to be post Tiger. Like, honestly, when you look at the PGA Tour, it's like, okay, Tiger's playing, we're fine. Like, we'll just do everything around Tiger. But I think now they're trying to figure out, like, hey, how can we make this product better for all the fans and, like, live longer than us? And all the stuff, like the 6 points, I forget what all the 6 points, they all make a lot of sense. I mean, then, of course, I think the worst thing before was, like, the slogan in professional golf is play better. Just play better, right? Well, before, when, like, last year when you have signature events, like, you have, like, 3 tiers. You have, like, a tour card A, B, and C. Like, you're a rookie last year, and you had to finish in the top 100 in your non-signature events. You can't even get into some full field events. Like, you're not starting the line at the same level. Like, it's just so, but I think in the future, it's going to be, that level is going to be about the same to start when you have a tour card. It's already getting like that, but I think in the future, it's going to look even more like that. And I think they're kind of looking at like a Premier League relegation kind of thing, which just makes sense. It's like, oh yeah, like 10% of the guys lose their card and like 10% from the Corn Ferry go up. Yeah, it just needs to make sense. It's like, hey, no, the swing 5, like, if you play good here in the swing 5, you can play into the Heritage. But then if you play good at the Heritage and you weren't in the rest of the signature events, those points from the Heritage don't help you get into the swing 5 for the next. Like, nobody understands this shit. So, like, if the players don't understand that well, it's like, then fans have no chance to understand it. So they're just trying to make it just a lot easier for everybody to understand.
You mentioned Tiger and, like, the post Tiger era, and, like, I think you're born in '96, right? So was Tiger, like, your favorite player growing up? Is that kind of who you and a lot of your friends kind of looked up to get?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I feel like anybody who's my age or older, like, if they don't say Tiger, it doesn't really make any sense, because, like, he's the GOAT. Like, honestly, it's just like, I wasn't even alive. I mean, I was 1 year old when he was, like, just came onto the scene and started dominating. Like, I remember when I had my second year on Corn Ferry, I had like a 7 or 8 shot lead after 36 holes. And I was like, okay, I'm going to watch Tiger at the US Open of Pebble for inspiration. And I just lost the lead in like 5 holes. But I was like, hey, this is probably the only instance that somebody had this big of a lead, and maybe I'll learn something. Didn't work out. But, like, if he's just, I've never played with him. That's the one thing, like, I want to play a tour event that he actually plays. Like, he's not really going to play much, but I'm like,
yeah,
this is why I need to play good and get in the Masters and just play with him. Because then you can be like a guy like Neil Shipley, who just plays with him one time, and he's just like the face of the young guys. Neil's a good buddy of mine. We played a lot of golf the last year and a half. I'm like, Neil, you got to start playing better. Like, you're on these commercials, but you only made 1 cut this year, so, like, you need to start playing better. But yeah, Tiger's. Yeah, I mean, I feel like he's the reason why we play for so much money. He's the reason why golf is on the map. Yeah, he definitely looks a little rough right now. I mean, all my buddies who've actually, like, hung out with him, he's 50 years old now, but it looks like he's, like, even on TGL, it looks like he's walking very slowly. I mean, the body definitely looks like it's breaking down a little bit, but he's still, I mean, Charlie, his son, like, his swing looks, I mean, it sounds great to be Charlie Woods right now. I think he's getting NIL money, like, a couple $1 million maybe to go to Florida State. I'm like, if I was Charlie Woods, I'd be like, hey, just, like, I would just have, like, a free-for-all. Be like, hey, whoever pays me the most money, I'm going to go there. Let's just have a press conference. Who would just pay me all this money? Yeah.
I mean, it's like, my dad's going to show up and wear a Florida State shirt at one of these tournaments. There will be a picture. That's worth the money right there.
Yeah. Or, like, it's crazy. Like, Tiger's, that's the one thing. I would love to play with him, but I just want to play in the same tournament as him. Like, I joke around, but, like, if I played Tiger right now, I'd be confident I'd smoke him, but at the same time, he's also Tiger Woods. I wish I got to see prime Tiger before. But like shit, he was even 2013 to 2018. The guy was still one of the best players in the world. He still does some crazy shit. It's just I mean it's weird how jacked he is and then like how slow he moves. So yeah, it's tough to see because like we think of Tiger when you look at the old stuff, he's like so skinny and just striped it and pounded it, and now he's just getting old. Yeah, so we'll see if he plays the Champions Tour, but it seems like he might play a little bit.
Back stuff's no fun.
Yeah. No.
Just get in a cart. He talked about getting in a cart. I mean, if there was a Champions Tour when I got there in 21 years, like shit, yeah, I'm taking a cart. Why wouldn't I take a cart? But there's definitely not going to be a Champions Tour in 21 years, in my opinion. Yeah.
Do you think, like, I mean, if he did play the Champions Tour, I mean, the entire tour would be completely different than it is now. I mean, the tour
for sure.
They need to redo the media for it, right?
For sure, and they'd actually make money because the Champions Tour is like just the PGA Tour just basically pays for the Champions Tour. Like the Champions Tour makes no money.
Yeah,
but it was kind of like a way for guys to like, especially guys pre-Tiger, to like make money when they miss some of the Tiger era. But now, I mean, like the guys that I see that are turning 50, like Charlie Hoffman, Ryan Palmer, both turning 50, Zach Johnson playing.
Yeah.
Like I've played with all these guys on tour. I'm like, they're just going to kick all these 60-year-old asses. Like, it's just not even close. Like these 60-year, I played last year at Colonial. I played with David Frost. He's 65. He won the Colonial. He won Charles Schwab. I don't know how long ago, but I'm like, he's playing a tour event. And he literally carries it 210 yards. It's firm, 220 yards. I'm like, this is just nobody needs to watch this. Nobody wants to watch this. I think actually people would watch it, be like, hey, that looks like me when I'm older, or like, this looks like something I could do. But yeah. I mean, he definitely people would still. I would say if he played a Champions Tour event, like more people would show up to that event than say a normal tour event in a place that there's not as many fans. Like it's just the Tiger effect. Like,
curious, what I know we're kind of keeping you long, but what I noticed you said that you didn't think there would be a Champions Tour in 21 years. What goes into that?
I just don't think so. I don't know. I just don't even think. I mean, Champions Tour, it's just like. Scotty Scheffler's made $109 million. You think he needs to make money when he's 50? That's basically what I'm saying. It's like guys nowadays, when you play really good, like you can make a lot of money in professional golf, especially like live guys too. But like you can make a lot of money if you play good golf. So then the Champions Tour, it's like say the purse this week of the players is $25 million. The winner gets $4.5 million. The winner of a Champions Tour event, I think it gets like 400,000.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that, 300 something thousand. It's like I don't think
you really just be playing for the love of the game at that point.
I don't think guys want to do that when they've been playing golf for like 30 years, unless they're absolute sickos. Like today, I was practicing TPC, and the only Champions Tour guys out there, like Rocco Mediate's out there, Kirk Triplett, Tim Herron. And I'm like, shit. When I retire from golf, I'm not playing golf. Like I'll go do something else. I've been doing this shit already for 26 years. And I'm like, damn, this is tiring already. Like I want to play really good for like another 15 years and then get out. And then
you said you were a foodie. When I travel, I feel like I resonate with like restaurants when I go somewhere. Like I did a cross country trip right after graduating high school, and like I can't really remember much about Salt Lake City, but I remember some of the restaurants we ate at. Is there like stops on tour that you're genuinely more excited about either getting that restaurant than you are about
for sure?
There's just
for sure. For sure. It's like, no matter how you play, like, damn, I hate this golf course, or damn, I love this golf course. It's like, hey, one thing I can control is where I'm going to eat. Like, there's just places that you just like they just make it better. Like I always used to talk about with my wife, like we talk about eat well, play well. It's like any saying, you can be like dress well, play well, whatever. But it used to be like eat well, play well. So we'd always like, I just appreciate good food. Like no matter where I'm at, like I'm just like, I could stay at an Airbnb and just like cook chicken and rice. That sounds just absolutely awful. There's guys that do that, like eat super healthy. I mean, I think I'd probably hit the ball farther. I'd probably be a little healthier, a little more fit if I just ate very, very healthy. Like one of my sponsors is MyFitnessPal, but that's for like definitely like more people to lose weight. It's not like so I definitely don't think I need to lose that much weight, but like it's just food. I mean, I think I talked about on other podcasts, but like almost love like food experiences more than I love playing golf. Like it's just different. It's just different. Yeah.
Dylan, thanks so much. I only got 2 more for you. I'll make them quick.
No worries.
I just wanted to know, like this week, for example, like it's an off week for you. You're not playing a tour event. I guess like you alluded to the fact you played TPC today. Like run us through like a typical week off for you, like what a typical practice day looks like, what time you get up, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it all just depends how you feel. Like coming from Puerto Rico, played the last 2 weeks on the East Coast, and I'm kind of going back to the East Coast after this to Valspar. I've been going to bed pretty early and getting up really early, but I usually like to take like kind of a day or 2 off. It just all depends. Everybody's a little different, but like, especially when you play a lot of weeks in a row, like it's always nice to like kind of just reset, more just like mentally reset. Say like you haven't played great, or you no matter what, like you just take a couple days off, and then when you get back at it, say like I got back really late on Sunday, so I got back like at 1 a.m. here in Phoenix, which is like 4 a.m. in Puerto Rico on Sunday night or Monday or early morning, and then I took Monday and Tuesday off. I was thinking about practicing Tuesday afternoon, but I was like, I'll just get an extra day off. But I still worked out. I took Monday completely off, but I worked out Tuesday morning and kind of still had an off day, do a bunch of laundry and shit and do other stuff that I have to do around the house. But like today, I feel like it's just a good balance. Like it's really hard to just practice for like 8 hours. Like people say like some people have the misconception you need to grind for like 8 hours. Like you need to hit on the range for like 6 hours. There's like there's just different things. There's like block practice, drilling. It's just all whatever you think that's going to help you play better. Like some guys like to play a lot. Some guys want to practice and get a lot of block practice. A lot of guys want to do drills in practice. So like it all depends. Like for me right now, like I kind of did a little bit of block practice yesterday, and then I played 18 just to kind of see where my game was at, and it was better. It wasn't that rusty after taking 2 days off. And then today at TPC, I kind of worked on some technique just to see where it's at. Like took some videos, did some mostly short game, short like chipping, pitching, and then wedges and short irons, and kind of looking at my swing and kind of seeing where it's at. Then also certain shots I wanted to hit. Like today, I've been kind of feel like I was drawing the ball a little too much the last 2 weeks. So I was like kind of working on doing a strokes game drill on the range with my TrackMan after I was doing swing work. Only hitting, say, certain distances with kind of a cut shot, like stuff I wouldn't really do, but like, hey, I want to work on this. And you just feel like, for me, I feel like I'm just trying to be really efficient with my practice. Like I don't need to be at TPC all the time. Like I was worked out today at 7 to 8. I was at TPC from like 8:30 to like 11:45, just only working on wedges, short irons, and then pitching and chipping. So I didn't even get to all of it. But like you can definitely spend as much time, like 7-8 hours, because like in golf, you don't hit the same shot all the time. So you can practice so many different things. But like tomorrow, I'm going to practice in the morning. I'm actually going to Chicago for St. Patrick's Day this weekend because I want to see the Green River and drink a lot of green beer. And this is my only consolation I play in the beginning. I'm like, hey, if I'm not playing the players, like I'll go to Chicago for St. Patrick's Day, drink green beer, and just laugh at my buddies that miss the cut at the players. Like, hey, you could have been doing this with me. But I'll practice tomorrow. Like tomorrow, I'll do a lot of putting and then go to longer irons and then a lot more drivers and stuff like that. So it just all depends, like how you feel. For me, I feel like you go from like block practice. Say you've taken a lot of time off, you go from like block practice to like playing, and then you do like block practice to drilling and then to play. Like my perfect ideal world, if I could control it, like if I lived on the golf course, like right here, and if I had a gym at my house, like I'd love to like wake up, work out for like an hour and a half, whatever, and then like practice for a couple hours, like eat lunch, practice a couple more hours, and then go play 9, and then practice like a little bit more. Like I feel like that's like what Tiger does when you have. I mean, I think, but you don't need to spend like 8 or 9 hours on a golf course. Like it's just really tough because my goal is not to peak like when I'm leaving. My goal is to peak not even Thursday. I mean Thursday through Sunday when I get to Valspar. So I know I have a full week till I tee off. So it's like, it also takes a lot of confidence too to not practice sometimes. It's like I'm flying tomorrow at 12:15. Like, hey, if I somehow don't sleep as well, maybe I'll just go to the gym and maybe I'll just do a little bit of stuff. It takes sometimes I feel like it's like when you play a bad round of golf. Like sometimes you hit balls just for remedy, and some of my college coaches like, no, we're not hitting balls. Like you gotta deal with this shit that you played shitty golf and you're gonna use that fuel for the fire for the next day and you're gonna come ready. So it's like sometimes hitting balls to make yourself feel better or practicing just to make yourself feel better isn't the way to do it. Sometimes you feel good leaving and you're like, did that really help me? Like, did I gain anything? Versus like, hey, so it just all depends, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that's
hard to
awesome.
describe it. Everybody's different. So like some guys are range rats. Like I see there's some certain guys, it's funny, like certain guys I see that don't have the good at short game. I'm like, I'm at TPC. I just see them hit for like 5 hours and maybe putt for like 15 minutes. I'm like, no wonder your short game shit. And I'm like, it's just funny. Some people like it. Like for me, I'm like, I can't hit that many balls. Like I wouldn't say I get bored, but I'm like, I can't hit more than like 150 golf balls. Like that's a shit ton. But I can do it sometimes if I'm doing drills. Because then you're so focused on completing the drill that you're like, oh shit, I did like 4 or 5 drills of hitting 10 balls. So if I hit 50 balls, or if you're hitting wedges, like you can hit a lot of wedges. So it's like everybody's different, but that's kind of what it works for me. I just try to be really efficient. Like block practice is great, but block practice is only when I feel like I really need something, like the first day back or the first early days back. And then I'm just trying to get ready to competition. So you're just trying to like slowly transition to shots you can hit on the golf course. That's where the TrackMan and drilling stuff and like trying to create your own competitive atmosphere in practice is really good for transitioning the practice to the golf course.
All right. Okay. Awesome. Last one from us. You mentioned you're playing Valspar. Do you have an idea of what the rest of your year is looking like? I mean, obviously you're going to try to get into some bigger events along the way, but just kind of like a general structured schedule right now. What are you looking at for the rest of the year?
Yeah. I'm playing Valspar, Houston, and Valero. It's weird on the PGA Tour, like, and before when I had full status 2 years ago, I feel like guys before could like pick their schedule and it'd make a lot more sense when the fields were bigger. But like, yeah, it's just like if you're not a top 50 player, it's like you just follow the schedule. Like there's like I play with Matty Schmidt at Cognizant, and he's playing this week at Players, and he played Genesis and Riv. He's played every week. I mean Genesis and Pebble. He's played every week this year. It's 8 weeks, and then he's gonna play. I mean, he's most likely gonna play 11 in a row. It's like that's psycho. But if you're not a top 50 player in the world right now, the PGA Tour schedule has definitely changed since my rookie year. But like you just kind of you follow the schedule, like all the full field events. Like I'm gonna play until you play really good. You basically play good until you don't have to play. That's what I've learned. And you just unless you're a top 50 player in the world, you just play everything. Like I wouldn't say like Ben Griffin or Eric Cole, like you play absolutely everything where you're exhausted, but like you can. Technically, like on the PGA Tour, you could play. Like I was talking to Maddie, if you're a top 50 player in the world, technically you can play every week if you wanted to. Like there's enough weeks in a row where you just keep on playing. But like for me, even if I was a top player in the world, like I've played 6 on the Corn Ferry. I played 12 in a row one time, and that was my first year, and I kind of had to. But like that sucked. Like I can max play. I'd love to play 4 in a row without playing more than 4. But I could play up to 6 or 7. But I feel like the problem is when you play a lot of weeks in a row, so you're like not playing good, you can't really work on your game in between. Like 1 week isn't really enough to work on your game. That's why like this week, I played the last 2 weeks, but I have 1 week off and then 3 weeks. Like it goes by fast. Like you get back and you're like, oh, I take a day off, and then you're like, shit, and like it just goes by really quick. But I'm playing. My next schedule is definitely Valspar, Houston, Valero. I mean, I would love to play the Masters because the Masters is the week after that. That'd be sick. Never played the Masters. Funny story. My brother Jeremy's been there twice. Some of his caddy friends are like, "Hey, you want to come to the Masters?" And he just sleeps on their couch and goes to the Masters. He's been there 2 of the last 3 years. I'm like, dude, what life do you live?
That'd be your 4 in a row too.
That would be my 4 in a row. Yeah, I always said if I won on tour, I would take the week off after, unless it was like a major or no cut event, because I would just get absolutely blitzed. Not terrible. I'm like, I'm going to celebrate this. Like it just, it's hard now, but the schedule is definitely tougher. Where like, I would have to, I basically just following the schedule. Like everybody around me is kind of doing exactly the same thing, and you play really good, and then you get into like the heritage and other stuff, and then you start changing it. But the weird part is like if you're playing good, and say you have like a swing 5, and you play your way into an elevated event, and you don't play good in the elevated event, it's like then you're like, shit, I'm tired, and I had this extra week. So it's just a very weird system right now. But I mean, I'm basically going to play probably 25 to 27 tournaments this year. I think the goal right now, if I had a soft goal or a minimum goal, I mean, everybody wants to keep full status, but finish top 100 and like not have a chance of making the first playoff event top 70 where you don't have to play in the fall. Mm-hmm. Like being able to like play golf knowing that you have job security and knowing what you're doing next year, and say you want to work on stuff or you just like you can just chill a little bit. It's like when you're, I don't even know, it's other sports, but like it's like you like secured a playoff spot and you kind of can coast before the playoffs. So like if you play really good on tour in the regular season, then you don't have to play in the fall. Then you're like, shit, I could actually have an off season to actually work on stuff, because the off season is very short in golf. Like the RSM Classic's the week before Thanksgiving, and then like shit, if you don't like, if you had to go to Q school like me, it's 2 weeks later, and then bam, Christmas is there, and then New Year's, and you start up again. And like this, and it's like Thanksgiving, Christmas, like, is that really off time? You're like, you're with family and shit, and that's like always stressful no matter who you are. So you're not really relaxing. So, but I think the changes with the tour, I think the tour is going to start actually probably Super Bowl weekend, or probably going to start at the Waste Management Super Bowl to kick off the year, and then stop in like September. Makes sense. Like golf just plays. I mean, I feel like anybody turns on Golf Channel, golf's on all year round. Like, you know, it's just on all year round. But like, I feel like people love the NFL. The guy, Brian, came from the NFL. It's like people are just waiting. You're just waiting for the NFL to start. Like even preseason, people go to preseason, but like even college football, like, everybody's just waiting, right? So like golf, I feel like can do a good job. He's talking about like, I think he's talking about, I forget, one of the quotes in the player meeting was like, seize the summer, or like seize the time that like all the sports don't have.
Yeah.
Like, you just can't play against football. Like you just can't. It's impossible. There's no, everybody. I mean, I would rather watch football. So yeah. So we'll see. It's a lot of stuff changing. I'm hoping that like, hopefully next year or 2 years from now, hopefully I play on tour for the next 15, 20 years. I hope it's just, the stuff just needs to stay the same. It stayed the same for a longest time. Like everything was the same. And then every year I've played, it's just been different, but you just want the schedule. You just want the schedule to be the same every year. Not the same, but like you just want everything to make sense. So like I said, I'm gonna play as many events until I play great, and then take the week off and go to Old Town Scottsdale and party. And awesome. Then travel. I love traveling. My wife and I love traveling. So I've always been a person like, got to play good before you actually achieve something. But like now it's like, if I played really good and won a tour event, I'm like, I want more. So it's like golfers are sickos. Like you just want to, or I think athletes are sickos. And when you achieve something and you like get a taste of it, you just want more. Like that Q school moment, like that was my probably the coolest moment in my professional career. Like I just want to experience that more. I'm like, shit, Scotty experiences that like literally every week.
He's tired.
Like, some of the questions that the media when the media asked like Scotty, I'm like, what nonsense are you guys talking about? Like, he's like, do you feel off? Like, do you feel off like your start since you like finished like first, second, fourth, 12th, 24th? Like, do you feel like you're not playing good? And I'm like, what are you talking about right here? Just like, so, yeah, I'm just gonna
win.
Yeah, it's because you didn't win. But I'm gonna play as many events as possible without burning out. But yeah, the schedule. I mean, if you look at the schedule, like if you're a person like me, or even a person that's like finished 90th on the FedEx, like everybody plays the same thing. Certain stops I'm looking forward to. Like this year, like Zurich's one of my favorite tournaments. We play the partner. I played with Justin Lauer my first 3 years, one of my best friends, and then David Lipsky last year. We finished 4th. Even though he's ditching me, he wants to play with Rico, which I get because Rico's awesome. He's one of my buddies, but I'm playing with Marty Doe this year. Like that's always a fun event. I mean, I have another very soft goal that like President's Cup's in Chicago. I mean, like Ben Griffin was one of my buddies. Like that guy had a heater. You just never know in professional golf. Like there's certain guys that you just get hot. You just get hot. Like JJ Spawn, one of my good buddies here. Like guy won a major. So like you can catch heaters for sure out here, and the elite level is I've always been told good golf is good golf no matter what level. So you're just all about getting really comfortable. So like you just gotta be able to play good golf at the right moment under the most pressure. So that's what we're all chasing.
Well, we will be following your career and the rest of your events from here on out. We're big fans of you, and we really appreciate you taking the time to come on.
No, of course.
Thoughtful answers with everything. You shared great insight into everything from your come up to the PGA Tour to your daily life on tour to how you go about your off weeks and your goals. And no, we really appreciate it, Dylan. Thanks so much for coming on. And
no, of course, guys.
We wish you all the best with the rest of the season.
No, appreciate it. No, thanks for having me on. Love your guys' content. So no, it was easy. Yes. So I know I could talk a lot, so that's why this went definitely longer. not like talking to all the so it's stuff they want to hear. I'm like, I don't know. There's just a lot of shit.
We're cool. We didn't want to keep you. We thought you'd have better shit to do than talk to us.
I don't really want to pack right now. I really just don't want to pack right now. That's the worst thing. It's like you just get back, you just empty your suitcase, and then you just did laundry, and they're like, shit, I got to pack already. I'm like, God damn it. So I'll be packing, but no, thanks again for having me, guys.
Yeah, we'll let you go, man.
Thanks so much. We'll be watching next week at Valspar.
All right. Yeah, thanks, guys.
See ya. Huge thanks to Dylan Wu for that incredible interview that we just had with him. Shared so many great insights into his life on tour. Super appreciative for Dylan and his time with us. He gave us over an hour, so we really do appreciate it here at Nuclear. One of the topics that we were getting into with Dylan was actually the future of the PGA Tour. And this week, obviously, that big press conference took place up at PGA Tour headquarters, just steps away from the Players' Championship. Brian Rolap's press conference announcing essentially 6 major pillars of changes that they expect to be rolling out over the next year to 2 years. Have you guys had a chance to check out those changes and just maybe your initial thoughts on what was announced, Hutch?
For me, it's kind of tough to keep up with because it feels like, and I know Dylan kind of got into it with a little bit with him saying every year it's been so different on tour for him. There's so many different changes. I respect the idea of kind of not flooding the market too much and kind of making it seem more special. Less events seems more special. But I think to me, like it's going to take some of those guys that are kind of on the fringes of being on tour or not being on tour, not going to be there anymore. So I don't, there's a give and take. I don't know. And we've talked about this for probably over a year now. Even going back to when we were talking about Liv and PGA trying to work together, like, I don't know that there's a right answer. I think everybody's just trying to find a middle ground that works the best for everybody, but I don't know that there's even a good place to be at for that, because you don't want to take away opportunities from those guys that are, you know, say you're number 125 to 200, you know, in the rankings or whatever. You don't want to take away opportunities from those guys, but at some point, like random tournaments in October, nobody's watching. I don't want to say nobody cares, but essentially nobody cares, right? Like it's just kind of one of those things where there needs to be a middle ground, and it's going to be fantastic for those top 100-ish players in the world. They're going to make boatloads of money. They're not going to have to play all that much. Like, it's awesome. If your spot is secured right there, your Scotty Schefflers, your whoever's, like, phenomenal for you. It's those fringe guys that I worry about a little bit more.
I think there's a lot of granular things that you can look at with the plan. And obviously, like, no matter what phase comes out, like, you're going to face speculation and people are going to argue about what could be done. I mean, like, there's no winning side of this until it's actually completed and everything's, you know, appearing to be a well-oiled machine. But I mean, up to this point, what Brian Rolap has not only said he's going to do, but done thus far, I feel like has gotten pretty positive reaction. Like, it's one worked. Obviously, you know, the Brooks Koepka and Patrick Reed and that kind of swing really, I think it hurt Liv more than it helped the PGA, but obviously the PGA did a very good job running with it. They understood how to react, not so much that, you know, it looks desperate, but they're like, hey, we understand that this is their opinion, and the way they release, you know, certain things is we're the elite tour. We're going to act that way. We're cool with y'all coming back. we're not going to make a huge deal out of it. If you guys want to come back and play the better tour, by all means. And I think they've done a good job kind of managing that thus far. That being said, this kind of plan, like it's obviously a massive undertaking. So like I said, you're going to face criticism. It's not going to be perfect, but based on what we've seen so far, I mean, Brian Rowlapp's got a very good understanding for how things work out in the long run. We talked about it with Dylan, like coming from an NFL background. There's things about how the NFL has worked with its schedule and media rights and the way it interacts with fans that it's just a magic formula for some sort of, algorithm for how it works. So I think the PGA is trying to adopt a lot of that. And again, I think that this plan is obviously a huge undertaking, but if it's phased out right, like there's a lot of pieces of it that I like, that I think with enough time and people understanding and enough people complaining, eventually getting over it, I think it has the right stepping stones in place to work out well. But it's such a large undertaking that we'll just have to wait and see.
Let's just run through the changes really quickly. I have the list here. Brian Rowlapp announcing that they are aiming for a 21 to 26 events on the schedule, including majors. The schedule would run, season would be late January to September. They would double the number of signature events. So there's currently 8. So that would be doubled. They also talked about 120-man fields every week with cuts. So they're getting rid of those limited field, no cut events. I don't know how to explain it, but essentially minimize these events that are supposed to be full field PGA Tour tournaments. They just don't feel the same, when it's such a limited field. I mean, there's a time and a place for that. But in most cases, the fans prefer a cut with a full field. And then they've also talked sort of about this 2-tiered tour, like a Tour A and a Tour B. If you play well enough on Tour B, you can kind of get back onto Tour A and play these bigger events, which no surprise that this is the model that they need to follow. They know where the money is coming from. The money is obviously with the big players in the big events. That's what drives this business. Playoff match play format is being considered as well. We've heard rumblings in the past about the Tour Championship potentially being converted over to match play, but I believe the entire playoffs is under consideration. So we'll see where that goes. The season will open apparently at an iconic West Coast venue. I mean, it's, to me, you'd think it would be like Riviera or something, right? I don't know.
River Pebble is probably what they're thinking.
Maybe Pebble, yeah. And then the last thing they mentioned was a plan for an expansion into big metropolitan markets like Boston, New York, Washington, D.C., those places where maybe the tour is kind of neglected a little bit over the years. They used to play events there at various points, but I think they want to get that back onto the regular schedule with big tournaments at those venues. In those cities. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how this all transpires. I don't believe all of this is going to be rolled out next year. It sounded to me like this will just be sort of like a stepping stone next season. They're going to start implementing the changes for sure, but it's not actually going to fully roll out in its entirety until the following year in 28. So
it sounds like the whole thing is fluid. And I've been pretty critical of the PGA Tour, kind of lean more towards the live side in a lot of instances. But if there's one thing that you can say about the PGA Tour over the last few years, is they've been very open to change and open to feedback from their membership and from certain people who are very influential within the tour or who are playing on the tour who are influential. So, I mean, to their credit, they're trying to find a solution. It's not just Mr. Curmudgeon, I'm stuck in the mud, I'm going to stay the way I am and you're going to like it or not like it. They're trying. So I'll give them credit for that. It just very much right now, it sounds like we've got some solid ideas. We're still kind of working through it. It's fluid. We'll tell you this is what we're thinking, and this is what in an ideal world would happen. We'll roll it out this way. But I think that if something better comes up, they're open to change and they'll do it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. All right, let's get to our discussion of the week, fellas. So, presented by Blue Chew. How many shots would it take you to hit the green at Sawgrass in tournament conditions? What do you guys think?
You're not gonna like my answer.
140 yards. Like, is that what we're looking at?
I mean, yeah, standard. Let's go Thursday pin. Like, I think it plays like 142 or something like that. I might be off. I don't remember when it played this week, but
So, I mean, as I'm getting back from this back stuff, like I've been hitting
yeah,
8 irons, 9 irons, pitching wedges. Like, I'm feeling pretty solid right now. I'm gonna say I'll only put one in the water.
dude, that's
on the
okay.
second time.
I'm kind of in the same boat. Hot take. I'm dry on the first swing. Now, 3-putt for sure. 100% 3-putt. Thursday pin, guaranteed 3-putt. There's no shot I'm getting it up on that shelf. Granted, depends on if it's dry or wet. I know yesterday we saw like in the morning you land a ball in the middle of the green, that thing's hopping off the back. Whereas later in the afternoon, I mean, you land it 10 feet from the pin. If it catches a little bit of spin, it's coming back to the front of the green. So, entirely egotistical answer. I'm laying on the green and 3-putting for a bogey.
I think I'm gonna take three balls to find the green on 17 at Sawgrass. I don't know, 2 or 3 balls for sure. I would probably lean towards 3. I'll probably, I mean, tournament conditions, I'm probably gonna go short on one of them. Another one will probably be long and left, and third one 15, 20, 25 feet.
So
are you going to saw off a pitching wedge a little bit? Because I mean, you obviously the adrenaline, we've got to factor that in. Pins 142, you're going to have to obviously take some off because you're not flag hunting.
Yeah,
I'm definitely shanking one. Like the first one's a shank, just cold shank. I've been known for that. I'll find it after.
I don't know.
All right, fellas. Well, it's been an awesome show. I think we're going to wrap it there. We hope everybody enjoys the Players' Championship this weekend, obviously. We are not going to be back next week, I don't believe. Still shifting our schedule around here. It's going to be centered sort of like the PGA Tour. Like we've got signature podcasts. Our episodes are going to be kind of centered around, the big events. So stay tuned for our next episode. As always, you can find us live on X, live on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Amazon Music. We hope you enjoyed this episode of the NUCLR GOLF Podcast. And until next time, hope everybody has a great night. Later.